Hi there, Gina here. Welcome back to 55 Days of Christ Consciousness. Today we are going over day 37 of our journey together. Again, this is inspired by Amanda Ellis's self-mastery deck, Christ Consciousness self-mastery deck. And it's a beautiful deck to inspire you as you connect to your qualities that already reside within you. And sometimes we just need a little support along the way to recognize and activate them. And what I mean by activate them, that we begin to work with them and be them and create that almost that the neurological pathways and connections into our body on what it is to lead a more crystalline life, a higher life. And I just feel it's simple of being kind, learning how to be graceful and have integrity and take responsibility and accountability for your life, and to really change your relationship to with judgments and forgiveness and the ability to forgive and transcend this identity of the self, and really allow yourself to breathe, allow yourself to see who you really are and not be overly identified by past actions or choices or experiences, and recognize, wow, but perhaps hold them in a very different light than you've been holding them or others might hold you in, and to be able to really alchemize it. And that's in the letting go, right? Where we no longer have that personal, that life is no longer personally affecting me anymore, because I'm not taking everything personal. I'm recognizing that there's all these programs within us, within you, operating like the emotional undertones that we don't even realize are there. But it's made a neural network, a neurological pattern within the physical body, and then I behave a certain way. So how might you begin to alchemize that and recognize, oh, you know what, that as through my choices I begin to change and create a new pattern, and recognize I have the power to do that. And maybe it takes me doing a choice over and over again, or maybe it's just one time recognizing, oh wow, I really don't want to be doing that anymore, and you just don't. Something in you just happened that quickly where you just don't, something event, or you experience something that changed you instantaneously. For others it may take a little longer depending on what it is, and it doesn't matter how long it might take to change. So let's call in that energy, or that Christ-like energy, and call in Jesus. And I'm looking over to Merlin to my left, and maybe we'll bring in Merlin's energy today, because he's the magic, he's the master alchemist, as you are remembering to be. Because remember, this is self-mastery. You're learning to see through your all-seeing eye in a way that you have forgotten. And let's go ahead and breathe in for those of you that need to anchor in. Really feel your feet on the ground, your heart open, your intuitive center open. And just remember, this journey is to just support you to unlock the wisdom that already exists within you that perhaps you're not using, and to hold higher way of being, a higher level of light and frequency. Would be the light in the room, be the light in your own heart. Okay. And take what you need and leave the rest, or maybe come back to it later, and maybe something will resonate with you differently at that time. Oh, we have 3 cards, but we're just going to take the top one. 4 came out. Let me just sit here for a second. Okay, so we're just reading on 1. Is there any supporting cards in this? No. So we're just reading on 1, and we'll get to the others later because we're going through the whole deck. Jospeh is who we are drawn to today. Jospeh of Arimathea. or Arimathea. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so forgive me. It's Arimathea. Trailblaze and Innovate. What a beautiful card. Trailblaze and Innovate. And how we were talking earlier about emotions, mastering the mind, mastering the emotions, and even weathering storms, right? On day 36. So Jospeh of Arimathea, Trailblaze and Innovate. This is coming off this eclipse season this year. Again, this is being recorded on October 29th and then released a little later in the week. There's no time stamp on any of these as far as when you need to come across them. But I do find it interesting we're getting this innovation at this time of, and my ears fluttering quite a bit right now, of these eclipse season. And tonight or yesterday we were in the height of the eclipse on the 28th, and or full moon, excuse me. But anyhow, we were just also in the energies of an eclipse, so those energies intensify stuff. But it's a beautiful time for innovation and inspiration, because we also, with all these energies the past month, have come across a very powerful and potent third eye awakening, and for some of you, a soul star clearing and cleansing of the soul star, which also brought in a vast level of forgiveness and release and healing work, releasing of past contracts and vows, on a soul level from all lifetimes and parallel universes. And so I know some of you are out there working on those, releasing and drawing in, just clearing the way for your divinity and I am presence to come in, and your downloads to come in directly from the monad, with no interference anymore, no limitations anymore. And that'll happen again organically and in your own timeline for you and your abilities that you have right now. And remember, as you innovate and inspire, you're inspired. That comes in through the heavens, through your I am presence, through the monad, and down into the body, through the crown, into the third eye center, and inspiration happens. That light bulb goes, oh, I'm going to go do this. And then it literally filters down in through the body as you learn, like, okay, who do I need? How do I create this? What am I drawing forth? Right. And you start to materialize it. But it comes in through energy first, through the antiparticle first, and then as it comes into the body, you begin to create and think about it, and then draw forth. You communicate it, right? You want to be clear in that vision, and this is a time where not to be afraid of making your own way. Trailblaze, he's a trailblazer, right? Even look at, he's even wrapped in blue, okay, with that white ray of purity, that golden cloak there too, in his shirt. Like, there's nothing getting in the way, like fully protected and pure essence coming in. And as we're seeing the flowers coming off at the staff, and it's time for you to create and trust and be in the creation of the oneness that you're connected to, that through the I am presence, through your monadic energies, through your connection with God. That's how you manifest it, through that connection. And you stay pure, you stay focused, you stay clear, and allow yourself to create, and nothing will get in your way. Nothing will get in your way. It's even the sky is clear. And you have those purple mountains and almost a golden peachy sky. And it's a beauty. Yes, so many people are creating new ways for themselves, and even industries, creating new industries. I was even recognized. I had an earlier post today when I was out for a walk, talking about, I want to make a difference in the bodywork world, where it is looked at by the body worker and as their own business, and those contracting with body workers are now looking at them as a business versus, oh, it's just an add-on to my business, and don't really care that or value that this work has a high value to someone's wellness, and they deserve to be compensated for that. They deserve a good work environment. They deserve to be paid appropriately, right? Not just for their service, but also the time, because oftentimes it goes with flipping the room, meaning changing it, cleaning it between patients. And many places do not pay you for that. Basically, that's free labor right there. So what I did was reach out to one place I knew, and this woman was so grateful. And she's like, she took the time to email me separately on her personal email, the information she knew would be best for me, because she wasn't able to give it to me through her work, which I totally get that, because sometimes you're under certain parameters and you're kind of agreed to, you have to operate within certain policies. And so she's like, hey, go reach out to this person because they're talking about exactly what I was like. No, this has to change in this industry through every state. Hi, Gus. Hi, handsome. Here, Gus wants to be on. Hi, Gus. And so how might someone be, I'm being connected to a trailblazer in that sense, and maybe even I'm part of that in a way, if and when I make contact with this other person, and in the way that I'm also operating my business. Like, no, this is how it's being done now, and I'm not taking no for an answer anymore. And even the clinic that I work out of, I'll be readdressing that again later, and we'll see what happens. And yeah, and I may approach it a slightly different way, but that's how you learn. Sometimes when you're trailblazing, you learn to approach things. You try one way, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to try this way, and then until it all lines up. But let's see what the card has to say. And because I'm trying to think of other trailblazers, I'm sure all of us can think of at least one, whether it's well known or someone in our own life, and where they just have the ability to make their own way and not worry about how other people are seeing it, or that it's outside of the norm. Not that anything's normal, but the fear's not there, like we talked about in day 36. Don't let faith be stronger than the fear. I mean, don't let fear be stronger than your faith, right? Let the faith take over. And so when you come in that way, and with that fire, that flame of faith, that trust, that nothing stands in your way. Just kind of how I'm speaking to this past interview. I was just speaking, boom, this is what I need, da, 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 da. The rest we can figure out. And then it wasn't wishy-washy in any sense of it. And and anyhow, let's see what Jospeh has to say. Number 37. And for those of you that like numerology, feel free to look that up on your own. And how might this inspire you to be a trailblazer in your own life? And it could be with anything, right? Maybe a different parenting style, maybe the way you play your instrument. I don't know. It's your life. You know what you're passionate about, and how you see things, and what's inspiring you. Okay, to understand this card's message, we need to appreciate who Joseph of Amaranth was, and why his energy around you now is important. Joseph was a rich Jewish man, a member of the ruling Sanhedrin or council, as well as a secret disciple of Jesus. Some believe he was also a great uncle of Jesus. As a benefit of high rank in his contacts, Joseph asked Pilate if he could take Jesus down from the cross, and upon permission, he wrapped his body in linen shrouds and laid him in the garden tomb. So, first off, forgive me for mispronouncing anything. Sometimes I just can't get my tongue around stuff. So he was the one that draped Jesus. Okay, so this much is agreed by all four gospel writers. Okay, so I think we can just agree that things are written down in different ways. There's a lot probably we don't know. But let's just allow the energy of this channeling and this card to support us in the highest way possible, not through your I am presence. Okay. Let's see. This much is okay. In other ancient texts, he is said to have been imprisoned for his actions, but freed after receiving a visitation from Jesus. Centuries later, legends linking Joseph to the Holy Grail, the Last Supper cup, in parentheses, planting his pilgrim's staff into a Warial hill. And that's capital, so it must be a place. Wearyal, Wearyal hill, where he is rooted as the holy thorn tree, still in existence today. So that's probably a representation here, I'm guessing. I'm not familiar with this entire story, so okay, the thorn tree still in existence today and creating the first church in England in Glastonbury. That's interesting because Glastonbury holds a lot of energies in that area of England. There are also stories of Joseph bringing Jesus to England himself as a younger man. In fact, the English hymn Jerusalem is a nod to ancient feet walking England's green and pleasant land. And that part could be very true because Jesus, as a young boy, he went through all his initiations and studies very early, and he traveled a lot to different places and different countries to learn and be taught. Let's see. Currently, Joseph's life and energy are calling you to fresh pastures, to tread new ground, possibly to travel physically or in your mind, to plant fertile seeds, or to be the first to do or say something. Doing so may necessitate breaking out of old templates, family conditioning, and beliefs of what you think you can achieve. You are encouraged to be brave in forgiving new relationship, alliances, and experiences, starting either from 0 point or with some aspects already known. It may be the path you carve inspires you to follow your example, influence ideas, and stimulating new energy. Recognize to that you will be helped to build solid foundations and practical framework to succeed. You would not be encouraged by spirit to change, adapt, or begin again if you would meet a failure. Let me repeat that. You would not be encouraged by spirit to change, adapt, or begin again if you would meet failure. There is also the nod to legacy with this card and what you will leave behind after you die. The spirit who you are, of course, lives on. What you stood for, championed, and built can all remain, including the impact you had other people's hearts and minds. To be remembered fondly with gratitude is what we all aspire to, and as such, we need to live being conscious of our behavior and energy. We will all mark upon this earth. We all plant staffs to a degree, whether it be through our children, family, creative endeavors, projects, or memories that are everlasting. We may not all be tasked with the job that Joseph was given to create the first church, but we do all take an important soul mission in some form, and our energy, life, and presence spreads God's light in ways we often fail to notice. So I'm going to pause right there, because what I also remind people to, all you need to do is be your light. the work is inner work, and that radiates outward. Pay attention to your lane, to your life. And that doesn't mean you ignore other people, but you don't have to be involved in their ascension. You don't have to get involved with, oh, I know what you need. I need this or this. You like, and there's a special boundary to be aware of here, and just to be that neutral observer while you're witnessing someone else, right? And then you can just lead by example by being the light in the room and giving someone else space, even to be like, well, let me know if you'd like some guidance. I'll be happy to talk to you, and leave it at that. Or just be curious to just let someone talk, right? But this can show up in many ways in your life. It's not, but you will find your way. You will find your way. And you don't have to make some grand idea that you have to leave some huge mark for the whole entire world, because you being you already leaves that. It already leaves it. I recently had a client who she was struggling with things that were occurring and are occurring in the Gaza Strip. And she was at this place where her faith was challenged. And I said, God hears you. The prayers are enough. And she's like, is it? Is it? And I said, yeah, it is. That is enough. If nothing else, you do that, and that is enough. But when we're in the depths of our emotions, right, the seas are choppy, as we talked about, it can be challenging to stay in our faith that the light is always there, listening and supporting. The prayers are always heard for peace, and they're just always heard. We're never alone. So there's opportunities for you to be a trailblazer and innovator in your life, no matter where you're at, as you are just being light within you. Each generation builds on the previous, creating something bigger and better that enriches the world and themselves, right? It does both. Allow Jospeh to help you with life's transitions as the shepherd who knows where you need to be, what needs attending to, and offers practical help guiding you and making sure no stone is left unturned. Your new life awaits. Plant the seeds now for your future that is readily assured. So hopefully this card inspires you, Jospeh, and his energy to plant your seeds. Put your staff into the ground and go be that trailblazer. Go be innovative, and it'll all work out. It'll all work out, and just got to feel into it. You got to breathe into it, and then you got to just allow the steps to take place and take action. And yeah, it'll all happen for you. And it may be surprising too. I'm Gina Lobito, Soul Inspired Reflections. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to like and share this video. And if you found it some value for you today, and I'll see you till next time.